second speaker in the Big Buckets chapter, Alex Small, is here to talk fixed income as a portfolio manager with our unconstrained global fixed income partner, Payden Rygel. Alec is based in California, where he gained his CFA and Masters in Financial Engineering and has spent many years specializing in high yield and emerging markets and fixed income. Over to you, Alec.
Thank you, Matt. Let me start with a show of hands. How many of you have had discussions in the last 3 or 6 months about whether you or your clients have too much exposure to U.S. assets? Bravo. That's been the right trade. For the last 15 years, all one had to do was own U.S. assets, equities, credit, the dollar. There was no benefit to diversification. It's been this one central theme. Now, as we think about the tried and true cliches within finance, diversification is going to come back. When we think 2025 may have had the macro catalyst for regime change. So we think about the last 15 years, what worked, what didn't. We think we're going to be entering a very different 15 years. And so our role is guiding our clients as their investment committee as new opportunities arise and questions about portfolio construction become front and center. And one asset class for us that exemplifies this, and Kevin did a great job of teeing it up for me, is emerging markets. Here you have an asset class that's going to be one of the prime beneficiaries of a weaker dollar. And why is that? It's what it does to the fundamental picture. It's the self-reinforcing cycle of a weaker dollar. Your debt to GDP metrics improve, your FX reserves look stronger, your stronger currency allows central banks to respond to weaker growth by having easier policy and not worried about protecting from currency weakness and the death spiral of higher inflation. There's a lot of strong structural forces that occur in a weak dollar environment for EMD. And that's why to us, these cycles tend to last not 1 year, not 2 years, but typically 7 to 10 years. But here's an asset class that no one owns. And I get it. I've been involved in EM for the last decade and been there with clients talking about stories that didn't work, headlines that are difficult to justify. But that's part of the opportunity. In the last 12 years, there's been zero net dollars allocated to EMD. It's the same asset class size as private credit, but I've yet to come across an allocator, the same allocation to EM. And it only makes up 5% of the global debt, even though we all know that demographics are only going to push that 25% higher. And when you combine those two things with valuations, EM high yield debt yielding 9%, you have a rather attractive opportunity. And for us as fixed income investors, see if I can get the clicker to work. It's going to be tough for me to compete with the equity guys with the chart with returns going up and to the right. Nick with the AI story will have a much better example of this chart, but fixed income is about income. And what's the way to generate that? It's about yield at the end of the day. Your starting yield is going to be the core contributor of your returns. And so in an environment now where we've long left the zero bound, we're seeing more opportunities for diversification. We're excited about the prospect of income. As you think about the construction and where fixed income fits within your portfolio, the goal is to build resilience. And what we see within the marketplaces is really the two bookends are well covered. Core fixed income, higher duration, mainly driven by how interest rates do, is very well covered. And on the other end of the spectrum, high yield and high yield-like asset classes, they're going to offer greater volatility, higher returns. There's plenty of opportunities for that as well. But what we think is missing sometimes are the opportunities in the middle. Those that have diversification, enough running income, globally diversified. And so you as allocators to fixed income have the opportunity to dial up and down duration bets, credit risk, diversification, in the hopes of really building a portfolio that's going to be successful in the most amount of environments. So as we think about going forward, this new regime that is going to be one of the central themes of this conference, we think the tried and true ideas around diversification and income are going to serve portfolios well in the coming years. So I'm going to leave you all with a question. Do you have an investment committee working for you? Because that's what we do. And I look forward to talking with you all about that. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, thank you, mate. Thanks very much.